The sun's gravity is so strong, it's zipping through the solar system and it's dragging all of these planets with it. Kind of like how you see here in this illustration. Isn't this amazing? But here's the thing. It's strong enough to pull this planet here all the way across the solar system with it, but it isn't strong enough to pull this planet right into it, or this planet, or this planet. In fact, this planet catches up to it, circles around it at 66,000 miles an hour, and the sun's gravity isn't strong enough to snatch the moon away from it. Gravity is so selective. It's strong enough to keep us on the ground, but not a butterfly. It's even strong enough to keep cargo ships upside down, but not a dandelion. Wow, that's crazy.
Can me and you talk about bendy space-time, or more formally known as gravity? You may have heard other flat earthers say, no, gravity doesn't exist, it's a theory, it's buoyancy and density, but it's actually more than that. Buoyancy, density, and electrostatics, in my opinion. If you didn't know, there's a measurable amount of electrostatics in the air. This Richard Feynman lecture really puts it into perspective. And if you really want to check it out, I linked it in my Telegram, link tree in my bio. Here's the article though, if you want to read it real quick. As one goes upward from the surface of the ground, the electric potential increases about 100 volts per meter. Here's a graphic to kind of give you an idea of how this would look. So why am I talking about this? As you go up, you become more positively charged, so you will seek equilibrium with the negative, being the ground. So that's why when you hear other heliosexuals saying, why aren't we flying away if gravity isn't real? It's because you're denser than the atmosphere that encompasses you, the nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases, as well as the electrostatic force is basically sticking you to the ground. But don't blindly believe me. Listen to Walter Lewin, an MIT professor, giving a lecture literally explaining this. Let's listen to it and talk about it.
And not part of 802, so I'll leave that alone for now. So what holds our world together? Well, on the nuclear scale, 10 to the minus 12 centimeters, very important are the nuclear forces. On an atomic scale, up to thousands of kilometers, it's really electric forces that hold our world together. But on a much larger scale, planets and stars and the galaxy, it is gravity that holds our world together.
If you were listening closely, he said, from the atomic level up to thousands of kilometers, that is what's holding our world together, is electrostatics, not gravity. And gravity only comes into play on the planetary force, and there's problems with certain planets with the gravity, and then you have to invoke dark matter and dark energy, which is supposed to make up 95% of the universe, to actually make any of that work. So it's kind of a reification fallacy, if you ask me. I have a little bit more I need to go over, but seriously, read this quote by Isaac Newton himself talking about gravity and mass attracting mass. This is a drone with 0 moving parts. It uses ionic propulsion or electrostatics to fly. Got to add this earlier in the video, but if you're curious why the downward vector is decided, why things choose to fall down, not sideways and up, it's because of the downward pour of the electrostatics in the atmosphere to the ground that's acting as a negative. There's an article admitting that dark matter and dark energy supposedly make up 95% of the current cosmological view of the universe. Just a side note, dark matter adds up to 666 in gematria. Space and time are human constructs. They can't be bent or explain what's going on in the universe. If you want more of my opinion, check my link tree in my bio. I've got a podcast there.
I'm beginning to understand that many people have a hard time discerning explanation from proof. Because someone gives you an explanation for an unprovable phenomenon does not make that explanation proof. We are told that lunar eclipses occur when the sun, the earth, and the moon are in a direct line. Supposedly, the sun shines light onto earth, the earth then casts a shadow onto the moon, okay? That is an explanation for a phenomenon that we see in the sky. It is not proof. Proof would be to see this happening from a different vantage point. We would need to go up on a rocket into, quote, outer space to get high enough to see the sun, the earth, and the moon and be able to say, okay, I am observing this phenomenon happen. But we can't. So this can't be used as proof of a globe Earth. In fact, it can't be used as proof of anything. It only proves to me that you accept explanations without critically thinking. My son was suspended from school one day, and he came home and he gave me a good explanation as to why this happened. At first, I accepted that explanation until more evidence arose, and then I realized that that explanation was not proof, nor was it truth. You see where I'm going with this? We also have an eclipse that is called a selenilian. It is referred to as an impossible occurrence because it is literally impossible on a globe. It is impossible because both the sun and moon are above the horizon when this eclipse occurs, making it impossible for Earth's supposed shadow to be causing this phenomenon. It has been explained, not proven, explained away as the effects of atmospheric refraction. But let me remind you, refraction is of light waves, not shadows. Not only that, during this eclipse, the shadow is on the top half of the moon. I don't know how you want to explain that unless you want to say it's a mirage. I know you guys are good for that.
It's a mirage.
But the fact is, you will accept any explanation given to you as long as it's coming from someone that's higher in this hierarchy system. That's the way your brain was programmed to work. If I tell you something, you'll go back and forth with me about it all day. But if a guy with a white lab coat on comes along and tells you something, he doesn't even have to have a GED or a high school diploma. You will accept it as proof, and you will go around telling everybody that you know the truth. And it's all because you were programmed to accept whatever comes from somebody who fits the description. You see, if there's more than one plausible explanation for a phenomenon, then neither of them can be used to explain it. At some point, you're going to have to choose. And in doing so, you're going to have faith, making the globe that you believe in your religion. The same way flat earth is my religion. But I'll be the first to say there's more evidence to support my religion than yours. My religion is based on observable facts, while yours is based on theories.
So I was thinking about Disney. Thinking a lot about Disney. You ever think about the symbol of Disney World? What is that? What's that thing over the castle? What the hell is that? And I asked friends, what is that thing over Disney World? So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what is that? I'll tell you what that is. It's a dome. I was like, is it just that? No. Disney World is under a dome. And right now you got just trust me, right? Trust me for a little bit. Trust me for a little bit. Because right now you're thinking, oh, Big Bear, that's simply a rainbow, or maybe it's a fairy wings. That is a dome. And why does it matter? Why does that matter? Why does all this dome imagery matter? Because Walt Disney was best friends with Wernher von Braun, the guy who started NASA, the guy who designed the Saturn rocket that allegedly went to the moon. We never went to the moon. Oh, that's just one picture? No. Walt Disney and Wernher von Braun were literally best friends. They worked together all the time. Why is that important? Oh, Wernher von Braun was a scientist who built the Saturn rocket that got us to the moon. On his tombstone, Wernher von Braun has one thing, Psalm 19:1. Well, what does that mean, Big Bear? I'll tell you. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show it his handiwork. The firmament is a dome. That's interesting. How do people not find this interesting? The Disney symbol is the world under a dome. Disney was best friends with the guy who said, quote unquote, to get to the moon, we would need a rocket ship the size of the Empire State Building and then refuel. There was no way they were getting to the moon. Wernher von Braun was a genius Nazi that we got from Operation Paperclip, and he's the father of NASA, right?
Just kind of explain why we're not getting to see these images live. I mean, I believe the Apollo 11 landing was broadcast live. Why
now don't we have the technology to
to see all of this live.
Space is tough, especially whenever you're trying to show video from space.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
If you're looking for a launch site anywhere in the world, the ideal location is an island in the middle of the ocean.
You have to be close in order to see it. If you are not in the vicinity, you won't see it.
The actual pad is in the distance, well beyond those trees, so we'll get to see a little spark travel up through this fog.
Remote location, which, it's obviously important that it has to be here.
Wonderful spot because we have very little air and marine traffic. So
keep in mind that nobody is actually aboard the drone ship, and it's 200 miles away.
In the middle of the Atlantic.
It is in the middle of the ocean.
Cannot go near the rocket site. No one can go near it.
So we have a cool animation to show you what's going on.
I'm going to be showing you a graphic.
Be sure to follow the animation.
The animation is informed by real-time data.
So the graphic on the right, the simulation you've been seeing, the telemetry simulation, it looks like it's moving pretty slow. It makes for a pretty slow-moving simulation experience, but it is actually going very fast right now.
Still be some raindrops on the screen. That's not surprising. We have rockets. We don't have windscreen wipers, but we'll do the best we can.
And we're being as transparent as we can here.
Looks like we might have a little bit of problem with the video, but we are waiting to hear exactly what's happening.
Just a reminder, this is 200 miles away. There's no Wi-Fi, unfortunately.
We've been expecting more views, not only of the mission, but also from the launch pad.
This is a phenomenon we will expect to continue throughout the rest of the mission.
If we lose video, everything is likely still operating nominally. We just have the limit of our signal. So hope we can hold signal here.
At this point, we lost video feed of our drone ship.
Dragon is just about at the limit of the Newfoundland ground station. We're probably going to lose video shortly.
Issues with file transfers.
We lost satellite signal to the connection of the drone ship, but this is pretty normal during rough seas. The satellite link, it needs precise pointing.
There will still be some raindrops on the screen. That's not surprising. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do at this point.
There's the possibility we might lose the video signal for several seconds from time to time. Our team will be trying to bring the video signal back as quickly as they can.
We did have a number of communications glitches.
So it is pretty tough to get a good connection, but hopefully we'll get some good data off of it.
Again, I would just ask for your patience and let us work through that process, and we will absolutely share what we can as soon as it's available.
And we've just lost signal again, we're being told, unfortunately.
We're currently in a satellite handover for the International Space Station. This happens periodically.
Behind me you can see the deep dark velvet obscured somewhat by some beautiful smoke.
To the magic of television.
It does look like it's foggy there. It may make it a little bit difficult for us to see today's mission.
We had either forward or return link problems.
I don't think we have reliable video for it right now, so I'm not sure if we're going to see it exactly perfectly.
And it looks like we have
exactly what we saw is exactly what you saw, and now we are done.
I love that, we've got a media team that is as excited about what we're doing as y'all are.
Tom Costello with NBC.
Kristen Fisher with CNN, The Atlantic,
Reuters, the AP, Bloomberg.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
Cal's live shot, if you look closely at your screen, once we punch him up, we can still see the rocket somewhere behind you there. Cal Perry clearly not ready for us to come up to him on the air right now.
Space is tough, especially whenever you're trying to show video from space.
Hope we can hold signal here.